So with Exorcism Manga taking the medium by storm over the past couple of years, thanks to series like Demon Slayer, Chainsaw Man, and Jujutsu Kaisen, I decided to take a look into this category of battle shonen and check out some of the lesser known predecessors of the three series I mentioned earlier. While on this venture, I stumbled across a manga called Twin Star Exorcist. Now, I'd heard of this series before, but not really in a good light, although that had really nothing to do with the quality of the writing of the series itself and more on the anime adaptation it received. But I'll get more into that later, because I'm sure you're wondering, what exactly is Twin Star Exorcist about, and is it unique enough to carve itself into this ever-expanding genre of exorcism battle shonen? Twin Star Exorcist is a monthly manga running in Jump Square by Yoshiaki Sukeno. It's a decently long series since it's been running since 2013 and is actually about to hit its 30-volume mark. Twin Star Exorcist is a story of two main characters named Rokuro and Benio, although it mostly focuses on Rokuro. You see, at the beginning of the story, Rokuro is but a young lad trying his best to become anything but an exorcist, from attempting to be a worldwide famous musician to an athlete. He has a troubled past when it comes to being an exorcist, being the lone survivor of a tragedy that saw the genocide of his fellow young exorcists. Due to this, he refuses to be an exorcist, as the guilt of not being able to save anyone weighs down on his young mind. However, this all changes when he meets a young girl his age named Benio, who's an already extremely skilled exorcist for her age. Before I continue, let me get into who exorcists are in this world in the first place and how they're integrated into it. You see, in this world exists Kegare, also known as impurities. They are born from the negative emotions of people, their sins and their karma, and look like your basic monsters that you see in every single exorcism series. They live in an alternate realm called Magano, and use gateways to enter the human world, abduct them, and eat them. Pretty basic monster stuff. Until later on, when it's revealed how the Kegares are tiered, and how the highest ranked Kegare, the Basara, are actually a huge threat to exorcists. The Basara are easy to distinguish from other Kegare due to their darker skin and stomach markings, as well as every character in the vicinity yelling, "Oh shit, it's a Basara!" whenever they show up. Again, nothing too difficult to understand. So, back to Rokuro and Benio. It's revealed that they're part of a legendary prophecy to become the Twin Star Exorcists, who are destined to yield the powers of yin and yang to produce a child that will end the war that's going on for thousands of years on end between the Kegare and the Exorcists. So basically, these two kids are being forced into an eventual marriage, and the first half of Twin Star Exorcists is about how Benio and Rokuro are getting over their past trauma and regrets to become stronger together and grow closer to one another. Later on, this duo finds himself on the central island of exorcists called Tsushimikado Island. This is where the strongest exorcists live, including the 12 guardians, who all wield special enchantments passed down generation by generation in different manners. Rokuro first arrives on this island to make a name for himself, as he didn't come from a notable exorcist family and had to prove that he was competent enough to end the war with Kegare. He's constantly doubted on this island, being shunned at the academy he goes to despite being a Twin Star Exorcist. However, he finds his footing after quite the entertaining tournament arc, which heavily expands on the world building of Tsuchimikado Island, as well as the top families that live there, and it also develops bonds between Rokuro and them as they try to tackle the Kegare together. Speaking of enchantments, let me get into the power system, as this is a battle shonen after all. Every exorcist has a level of spiritual power and utilizes yang energy to create different techniques that range from all sorts of things. They can also use paper slips, known as enchantments, and apply them to themselves to make themselves faster, stronger, etc., although they come with a price and are difficult to use. The top exorcists use their spiritual powers and enchantments in very unique ways. For the 12 guardians in particular, these techniques and enchantments are passed down from generation to generation. From a flurry of guns to summoning stone golems to fight, these exorcist abilities have a lot of variation, leading to extremely creative fights when important characters are fighting. Rokuro himself is the Great Yang, and has a special cursed arm that he learns to master as time goes on. Benio, on the other hand, is the Great Yin, and has a similar kind of situation, but with their legs. I'd say fights are definitely a strong point of Twin Star Exorcists, given how varied different techniques are, as Basara as well have interesting ways to use yin energy to combat the exorcists. At the beginning, both Rokuro and Benio aren't very fond of each other, constantly quarreling and putting each other down. However, the way they helped each other get over their guilt of not being able to save their friends and family is extremely heartwarming, and seeing them become ride or die for each other was wonderful. Twin Star Exorcist in general is extremely good when it comes to conveying romance and realistic relationships, and I'd see it as the best by far when it comes to this in battle shonen that I've read. Nothing is rushed when it comes to romance, from the quarreling stages to the awkward stages to the honeymoon stages. Everything is written extremely well when it comes to romance, especially between Rokuro and Benio. Rokuro also has the habit of getting every girl he meets to fall head over heels for him 10 seconds after they meet him. Enemies and allies alike, his charm is just incredible. You thought Asta was Mr. Bitches? Nah, none. I mean, none of these shonen main characters have anything on Mr. Rokuro right here. This man's techniques have to be studied. I also love the theme of them getting over past trauma by not dismissing it, but using it as a reminder as to why one is chasing their goal. This theme recurs through all of Twin Star Exorcist, resonating most with Benio and Rokuro. Sukeno's very good when it comes to making you care about random characters as well, giving them unique backstories that pull you in and really feel for them. You know why this is so important? Because he kills characters. Often. Brutally. and it hurts. A lot. Like a lot. Even characters he just introduced, after a Sukeno flashback, I care for them like they're my own family. And then he kills them. Just like that. Heads chopped off, turning them into donuts, whatever you can think of, it's on the menu. And it's what makes the series so damn gripping. No one's ever safe in this manga. You never know who's coming out of a conflict dead, whether it be from the Exorcist side or the Basara side. Hell, even when the chief Exorcist fought, I had no idea what was gonna happen, cause Sukeno keeps me on my toes with all of this death. This all makes the fights a lot more exciting as well, as stakes are present for every single one of them, and your favorite character just might be the next to go. Now, this wouldn't be very compelling if the villains were nothing special, but thankfully Twin Star Exorcist is good in this department as well. The main villain throughout most of the story is a young man named Yuto, who's Benio's twin brother who's gone just a little bad. Just a little bit. The lore and motivation behind his behavior is super well done though, and he's easily one of the best characters in the series. The Basara are decent as well, with each of them having a distinct personality, fighting style, and reason to fight as well. It's a shame that no one really talks about Twin Star Exorcist anymore, cause after reading it, I can safely say it's one of the best Exorcist series, well, ever. The final arc's been a little mess so far, but I have faith in Sukeno to pull it off. I hate that this series got hit by the period treatment, especially when it's a monthly manga. Like, whose idea was it to make this a weekly anime when it barely has any material in the first place? Jump does the dumbest stuff, man. But I still highly recommend reading TSC if you like more violent battle shonen. The characters are the shining beacon of it, and the art's amazing too, so let me know if you give it a shot.